everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I'm Peter, that is Connor, and this is our weekly TV news show. We talk about renewals, cancellations, pilot orders, series orders, and all other sort of things in between. And in this case, the launch of a giant new streaming service, and a lot of details that go along with that.
Yep. It's bigger than expected on launch.
Give it a bit more than... Well, you did, but I was... for a second there, I thought you were going to go, yep, and then just wait for me to talk again.
I was just cautious on this one.
Cautious?
Yeah.
In what way?
Well, there's a lot at once, relatively speaking, for a new service. We'll get more into it when we talk about what it actually has.
Yeah, we're going to start with that. I mean, I'm going to change format just a touch, because the Apple stuff seems big and it's all kind of together in one big thing. Are you upset? You're upset?
Unacceptable.
Well, you're going to have to deal with it, alright?
You didn't change for the Disney stuff, which was bigger.
I don't even remember what I did for the Disney stuff, but it's funny that
you
do.
But I'm assuming you did the normal thing.
But it's funny to me that your ticket is a personal blight, that your favourite mega corporation got slighted.
It's not even my favourite mega corporation. It's just, this is my least favourite mega corporation.
Come on, they own Star Wars. Like that makes them your favourite mega corporation. Unless they were just ruining Star Wars, I guess, in which case they wouldn't be. They both have vendetta.
Which, I mean, depend on who you ask. I mean, those people are wrong, but if they exist. Idiots. They're still upset that all their books are no longer canon, and who cares? They still read the stories. They're great.
It was like Catton, who was taking his time. So we got details. We knew it was coming this year, and we now have a date of November 1st. We know it's coming over 100 countries, so if you're watching us on YouTube, you're probably in a country that's getting it at launch.
Yeah. I am of the mind they chose that date for a particular reason. They just wanted to take the thunder away from Brexit Day.
When's Brexit Day?
That
day. Okay.
Yeah.
Somehow I don't know if Apple care that much about Brexit specifically. If this was a British corporation, you might have some sort of point.
I don't really. I just,
But Apple are maybe a little bit bigger than that, I think. Just a touch. So
are they still headquartered in Ireland? Because if so, maybe they're not bigger than that.
I have no idea.
They were for a while, I know that.
Would you shut up and let me actually get the details out? That's a stupid conversation. November 1st is the release date. Over 100 countries, and it has and this is interesting, this part, because I didn't read the articles, but they all hit on like Monday, Tuesday. I just heard from people, it's coming November 1st, it's this price. No one mentioned to me when they told me the price that it was an introductory price. It's an introductory price of...
I did not know that either.
Yeah, introductory price of $4.99. That is not the permanent price.
That's interesting, because I did read a bunch of articles on Monday, Tuesday, and none of them mentioned that at the time. Unless
the phrasing here is just kind of weird, and what all they really mean is that's what it's going to be to begin with, in the sense that, yeah, they'll probably put their price up in like 2 years or whatever, but...
That's... Introductory implies...
Yeah. To me, that
a month to maybe 6 months tops.
Yeah, that implies to me that they're doing a special discount for the first like little while.
Yeah.
And then the full price will actually be maybe $7.99 or something like that. I mean, whatever.
We'll have to wait and see. Yeah.
I
know they're giving away like a year's worth to anyone who buys one of the phones this year.
Not just the phones. iPhone, iMac, or Apple TV. Basically, from the date they announced this, if you buy one of those items, you get a year of it. I imagine that might continue onwards. Although maybe the caveat in the future will be that if you've already had your free trial, you can't get it again. Like you get it the once. You could make one account with your free trial. Maybe I'd assume.
Maybe if I were them, I'd just throw it. Because I mean, let's say hypothetically it stays at $5, right? That's just like $60 a year. Given that the phones are like 1,000,
I mean, that's true.
I feel like it's like, hey, here's just an extra incentive to keep people in your ecosystem.
I mean, I suppose that if it's inspiring people to buy a new device once a year so they get this for free, essentially, then maybe they're actually making out like bandits.
Yeah.
Otherwise, because if someone says, "Oh well, I'll buy a computer this year, next year I'll buy a phone, the year after that I'll get an Apple TV," I mean, Apple TV is not that expensive compared to the other ones.
They're not?
I don't think so, because Apple TV is just like their Roku kind of thing, right? It's not like it's like,
Is it?
I think so.
I don't actually know. Have a look.
Go type Apple TV into Amazon and see what comes up, because I think it's just I mean, it's expensive compared to other like boxes of that type, but it's not expensive compared to their phones and their computers.
Go away, Amazon. I don't want to donate to charity.
Connor always being the villain.
I mean, it's a lot more than I would have expected for one of these boxes.
Yeah, but it's compared to their phones, their computers. Look, how much is it?
I mean, it is. I'm getting for a 32 gig version, so I assume it has some sort of
64
DVR
or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, is £150.
Yeah, but that's nothing compared to their other stuff.
It's not, but just compared to Amazon's Fire Stick.
Well, as I said that, I prefaced the whole thing by saying that compared to other boxes of its type, it is expensive. But compared to their phones and their computers, if you're getting a year worth of Apple TV, which let's say is at least $60, maybe more than that, once the price goes up.
That's not the latest version either. That's the version that does not have 4K. So the other ones are more. Okay,
sure. Maybe the next one's 200. Maybe you have to get the 200 one. But even then, that's still mighty cheaper than most of their phones, and certainly much cheaper than computers.
Yeah. It is, yeah.
So I'm glad we wasted 3 minutes there because you just wouldn't accept my.
I genuinely didn't know what Apple TV was.
Funny story actually. The Too Old to Die Young episode 9 that went up this week. There was a bit at the start that I was supposed to edit out, with you pissing me off.
And you left it in.
That I forgot to edit out. Now I fixed it now. You can't see it now. I've went and fixed it. Sorry, folks, if you want to hear me swearing at Connor. But the first few people who saw that did get to hear me get quite upset at you. So
I don't even remember what I did to piss you off.
It was something, Connor.
Probably.
But you pissed me off, and we restarted. It took a couple of tries as well, because I was so annoyed when I tried to do it the second time that I just messed up the intro and swore at you a bunch of times. Anyway, so I've got a list here of all the shows that are going to be here at launch. And this is on November 1st. Now, so here's the thing. I have not been able to see any details that specify if these are going to be binge style and all available immediately, or if they're going to be episodes per week.
I've not seen.
Because I asked, because you were talking to me this earlier in the week, and I said, are they bingeable or weekly? And you couldn't tell me, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know. And I've read this article. I'm going to skim through it again right now as I'm talking to you folk. And there's no real info.
I've got an article. Hang on, it's loading. There was a preview on Google.
It's loading.
Where is it in the article? Here we go. Apple has said that most series will premiere with 3 episodes, adding 1 new episode on a weekly basis. So it's the Hulu model.
So it's weekly, but with the Hulu sort of start. Okay.
Yes. However, some shows will debut with all episodes in one go.
So it really is the Hulu method through.
Yeah. I don't see any specification of which is all at once, if any, of these first ones.
I have to imagine all of these first ones will probably be just the 3 at once and then weekly, just because.
Well, if it were me, I'd do 1 all at once, because there's enough there that you can give 1 that'll keep that'll keep people going for that 1 week.
Aye, but there's a reason why you're not in charge of mega corporations like Apple. You're an idiot. So, hey, Connor, I'm hoping for the best here, because we're going to have like 5 shows to cover in one bloody day. So, and there's already bad enough that there's going to be 3 episodes of all the bloody stuff.
Yeah, they're not all happening at once. We're gonna have to choose.
Yes, and there's 2 sticking out to me that, as we go through, we could talk about. In fact, the first one we're going to talk about had a new trailer, or this first trailer this week, but new in the sense that the other shows that have got trailers have had these little teases before. So the first one is See. That is just the word See, S-E-E. And this is an epic drama starring Jason Momoa and Alfred Woodard, set 600 years in the future after a virus has decimated humankind and rendered the remaining population blind. When all humanity has lost the sense, and this, by the way, this description is completely new as well. We did not know. We had some hints that it was about blind people, but it was like very vague. This was under wraps for the longest time. Would you the future, and would you maybe something blind? This is easily the most we've had.
I don't remember what we knew, I'll be honest.
When all humanity is lost, sense of sight, humans must adapt and find new ways to survive. And of course, we got a trailer with this, so we actually have a bit more as well to go on. The plot of this is much like a lot of, if you think of like children of men, no one could give birth. Oh wait, someone's given birth. Now this baby that exists is like super important. Sure enough, there's some babies born that could see, and this becomes the focus of it. But what's interesting here is Jason Momoa and everyone else in this tribe are all acting blind. The villains are all acting blind. Everyone in this, except the kids, are blind.
Pretty
so
much.
we're going to get blind combat and things like that, which is intriguing. The main thing I'll say about this trailer, right away, it's not a surprise really, but the main thing I'll say is that Apple spent money on this. This does not look cheap.
No. The first 20 seconds or so of this trailer, I was like, oh, this looks promising. And by the end, I thought it looked terrible, because every line of dialogue was atrocious.
Oh, I'm not talking about dialogue, I'm talking about production value.
Production value looks great. The content of the writing, oof.
Shame, because there's potential in the concept. I think this one we'll definitely try, because it's in our wheelhouse. It absolutely is. But so yeah, this is C, and it's going to be out there on launch day. And given what Cara just told me, presumably with 3 episodes, with more to follow.
Presumably, yeah.
Morning show, which we expected to be a launch show because it was the first sort of proper trailer we kind of had. The morning show is a cutthroat drama starring and executive produced by Reese Witherspoon and Jennifer Aniston, and starring Steve Carell. I love how they two are producers, and Steve Carell's just like, I'm the third star, but I don't produce for some reason. Explores a world of morning news and the ego, ambition, and misguided search for power behind people who help America wake up in the morning. Yeah, I think when we got the teaser for this, I got the impression it was maybe going to be like a morning show versus a newsroom or something, kind of like that.
Yeah, there was a full trailer that came out a little bit later. That
I never saw the full trailer actually, with actual clips and stuff.
Yeah. It was a proper full trailer. It was about maybe 2 minutes long. I think it came out about a week after that teaser did. It was okay. It had a split narrative, like one section followed one character, and then the other, the 2 co-hosts. It looked okay.
Cool. Next up, Dickinson. A darkly comedic coming-of-age story explores the constraints of society, gender, and family through the lens of rebellious young poet Emily Dickinson.
Starring.
It doesn't say. Who's in it?
Hailee Steinfeld.
Oh, really? Oh.
Which immediately made that more interesting.
Oh. Now, you're going to hate me for this, but do you know what I think of when I think of Emily Dickinson?
I don't know, but I've got an inkling.
Well, I mainly know this name because in episode 5 of the hit television show Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Buffy is into this guy named Owen, and Owen's really into Emily Dickinson. And it really always struck me as weird because how many high school boys are into Emily Dickinson poems?
One.
Oh yeah, one apparently. And Buffy keeps getting the name wrong. She calls her Emma Dickinson or something like that. I don't know, but like she keeps getting the name wrong. She's trying to impress him, and she sounds like an idiot. And it's this whole running thing. He's this like sensitive, cool guy in high school, which didn't exist. This was a TV show trope, but that's what it makes me think of.
Okay. I can't believe that is the way you're getting it in this week.
It's a valid reference.
Oh, terrible.
Here's the exciting one for me. For All Mankind. This is the Royal D. Moore produced. I'm still a little bit sick, guys. If my voice is doing weird things and I'm struggling with speaking. As Connor sneezes, with his mic muted, you didn't hear it, but he just sneezed.
Just managed to get to that mute button in time.
So yeah, Royal D. Moore did Battlestar Galactica, the newer one, which was really, really good. Worked on a lot of Star Trek Next Generation. He is working on this as a sci-fi show. It imagines what would happen if the global space race never ended and the space program remained the cultural counterpiece of American hopes and dreams. So, yes, this is a teaser trailer a while ago. I remember watching it. There's a very just like ships spinning and inspirational music kind of thing.
I don't think I ever bothered watching that.
Yeah, there wasn't much in it. But the name alone makes me curious. I mean, I'm just going to click on this to make sure the trailer, because it says there's a trailer here to click on. I'm just making sure it's all that one, that there's not some new fancy trailer.
There might well be at this point.
Oh, there was a trailer with more clips in it, but this is the one I watched. I just forgot that I saw faces in it. Because it's
The one from the start of June.
it's the what's your face that's in it?
That really doesn't help. I'm sorry because I haven't seen the trailer.
Oh God, Joel Kinnaman, he's in there. Michael Darman, Sarah Jones, Chantal Van Stenton, a bunch of people. Jodie Belfleur from the Crown.
I don't recognise the name. I probably recognise the face.
Yeah. So I'm into it because of the creative force behind it. Easily my most anticipated because of that. Next up, Helpsters, a new children's series from the makers of Sesame Street, stars Cody and a team of vibrant monsters who love to help solve problems. It all starts with a plan.
I think we can skip that one.
I think we can too. I'm just going to say everything, but yeah, there's a couple of these kids shows. Snoopy in Space.
Why not? I don't think you need to say anything.
You want me to move on to the next one?
I mean, I think that's pretty self-explanatory, to be quite honest with you.
All right.
In a good way.
Okay, Snoopy in Space. Do you want a bit of trivia?
Is it interesting trivia?
I've never seen a Snoopy thing ever.
Really?
Yeah.
That's weird.
That's weird. I actually, because in the hit television show Buffy the Vampire Slayer, there was a reference to Charlie Brown. Willow used to say she'd go over to Xander's house and watch it because Willow's Jewish, of course, so they don't celebrate Christmas, so she'd have to sneak over and watch the Charlie Brown Christmas special. And I never understood when I heard that reference that Charlie Brown and Snoopy were
a thing,
related. Like I used Snoopy was a thing. I never heard of Charlie Brown, and then it was only like later that the two were connected in my mind.
You're like, oh, that's what she meant.
So that's 2 references down.
Mm-hmm.
However many more to go.
Still on the first bloody story. It's going to be a long night.
We got Ghostwriter, a reinvention of the beloved original series. It follows 4 kids who are brought together by a mysterious ghost in a neighborhood bookstore and must team up to release fictional characters from works of literature. So that's another kids show, and I actually have got another news story, but that's which I'll ignore when we get to it now because we've already had it here. But this was only just announced this week. This was not something that we knew about.
Right. Is this an animated one? I feel like I heard someone.
I don't think it is. I think it's live action.
Oh, yeah, fair enough.
When I get to that story on my list, I'll quickly check if it's live action or not, because I'll have more information presumably than this little paragraph on this list. Then we've got The Elephant Queen, a acclaimed documentary film and cinematic love letter to a species on the verge of extinction. Follows majestic matriarch elephant and her herd on an epic journey across life, loss, and homecoming. That was almost the animal version of professional and personal.
I'm borderline tempted to drink for that.
And then Oprah Winfrey has a new show on Apple.
Okay.
You know.
Is it just more Oprah?
Joins the world's most compelling authors and conversation. Yes, it's another talk show. Yeah, more Oprah. Yeah. So yeah, that's what's going to be available on November 1st. So we have what? We have 1, 2, 3, 4 big shows for adults. You know, you've got See, The Morning Show, Dickinson, and For All Mankind. Those are your big sort of tentpole shows. And 4 on one day one's quite a lot, actually.
It is. Do you want to rate them to you? Not necessarily what you think will be the best, but maybe what are you most excited to check out?
Excited to check out. I mean, For All Mankind is number 1 easy, just because of Ronald D. Moore is behind that. If I hadn't seen that trailer, or they didn't talk in the trailer,
probably would have been
next. See would have been next, but
I agree, but that kind of really tanks it, doesn't it?
Yeah. I feel the morning show might be very good.
I agree. I think I'm going to put Dickinson second, just because Steinfeld in a dark coming of age comedy.
Yeah, I like Steinfeld. Exactly we got more Steinfeld news later. Don't you worry. There's some more Steinfeld.
Oh, yeah. Everything's coming up Steinfeld.
You don't get to be excited for this. You're bored of the MCU. You don't get to be excited.
Well, I can be excited for Steinfeld.
Unhealthy.
Sue me.
So yeah, and then we had a trailer for C as well, which is my next tab, which we've already talked about. So yeah, so that's the Apple details. Quite a big launch, to be fair. I mean, obviously, the notable thing here with the Apple launch, though, is that it has no back catalogue. It's just the new things.
I think that's the reason they have to be as cheap as they are, because they've got just their own stuff and that's it.
Cheap in price, not cheap in the production quality. Just to clarify your point.
Yes, of course. But it's $5, like I said, and I think that is the cheapest of everything. I can't remember what Disney's launching at, actually.
Well, I mean, if you include Shudder, it's equal to that. But
is it okay? I thought Shudder was $6. That's just me being unaware.
Maybe it is now, but it was definitely $4.99 when it launched.
Okay, fair enough.
A couple of years ago.
Yeah, but I said the fact that there is no back catalog means it has to be cheap for now. Maybe in a year's time, when there's a ton more shows on there, it seems more valuable, so they can justify raising the price.
This is the thing. In 10 years' time, when you look back at the catalog, like, will you even notice the difference between its catalog and like Disney's or
maybe
whatever?
not?
Yeah.
No, admittedly, that is a fair point. Which is why I said they have to be cheap right now. The problem is, they've established that's the price now. So if in a year's time they go, right, we're going up because we've got more content now, so we think we can justify it.
Well, here's the thing though: if they keep billing this $4.99 as the special introductory price, then they could get away with it a bit more than they would otherwise. Like, they could go back and say, "Oh, it's going to be $6.99 now going forward in a year's time," yeah. And it'll kind of work because they always build it as a special year one price.
Yes.
So
yeah, no, that's true.
So next up, the Righteous Gemstones has been renewed for season 2. This is the comedy drama from HBO, starring John Goodman and Diane McBride, amongst others, and is pretty enjoyable. Me and Tara have been reviewing this. We're 4 episodes down of the 9 that's had season 1. So
9 episodes, interesting.
Yeah, I think it's because they counted the first one as 2 because it was a double length one.
Oh, so in production terms, it was still 10.
In theory, yes.
Yeah.
So
that makes sense.
But hey, so they get season 2, which is cool. And then next up, South Park got renewed for 3 more seasons, which renews it up until season 26. So that's seasons 24, 25, and 26 got renewed.
I mean, I'm not surprised.
No, worth mentioning.
It's getting up there, don't be wrong, but I mean, I just expect it now.
Credit to Castle Rock season 2 for releasing their date, their trailer on Friday the 13th. That's a good bit of synergy there. That's good marketing.
It is. It's smart.
So fair play to the. So season 2 of Castle Rock will be premiering on October 23rd on Hulu. And this is a weird one for us because season 1 was okay, and then the ending completely crapped the bed.
If it makes you feel any better,
yes,
that's when I'm away, so I don't even have to feel guilty about it.
That's true, yeah. So Carl's not even here to talk about it.
And then, I mean, you don't need to bother. You can have a week off.
Yeah, I mean, I've a Netflix show to be doing that week.
Yeah, exactly. And when I come back, do I really want to catch up on Castle Rock?
That said, you like Lizzie Kaplan, don't you?
Well enough, yeah.
She's in there. She's playing the Kathy Bates character for Misery.
I mean, I like that. Not enough to make me want to watch the show after the end of season 1, admittedly.
Yeah,
but
I mean, maybe if they brought if they brought Jane Levi back, maybe I'd be more tempted.
Yeah, that if she was the lead character, maybe.
Losing Jane Levi is a big thing for me. I mean, don't get me wrong, they've got Tim Robbins, they've got Elsie Fisher from 8th grade, which is a fantastic get.
Oh, she was good, yeah.
But
I'm just not feeling it.
No, that season 1 finale really put a damper on everything.
It did. And it's rare that an ending ruins everything for me. There are TV shows, admittedly longer running TV shows, that have had bad endings that I can still rewatch because there's enough good stuff to outweigh it.
Yep.
But when it was only 10 episodes, I think maybe 13, I don't know.
10.
It's not enough. Yeah.
So next up, children's adventure series called Super Dinosaur, which is based on the Skybound Image comic book series by Robert Kirkman. It's getting an Amazon Prime series. The premiere date for this is October 6th, and it's 13 half-hour episodes. So obviously that's something we'd cover, but I thought it was worth mentioning.
Sounds all right.
Yeah. So there you go. Check out the trailer for that, should you wish. And here's where we get to some casting news. The biggest of which, of course, is the announcement that in negotiations for Kate Bishop, the second Hawkeye in the Hawkeye TV show.
And let's be fair, The best Hawkeye.
The best Hawkeye. Hailee Steinfeld is in negotiations for that role. So she might be the wisecracking Kate Bishop under the Clint Barton in that TV show. And given that these shows are clearly going to be more tied to the movies, it means that she might end up being in the movies afterwards. If they're going to do a Young Avengers movie, for example, she'll be there to probably lead that team.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
I figured you might be.
This is how they get me back in.
Yeah, it's your unhealthy obsession with Hailee Steinfeld.
There is nothing unhealthy about that.
Maybe now, but there was a time when she was significantly younger.
There was no obsession at that time. To be fair, I actually didn't discover it until after that, I don't think.
Okay. Yeah. Hey, I'm a fan too. Barely Lethal is a fantastic little movie, which got so overlooked.
So underrated.
I had a blast with that little movie. Obviously, more recently, been in Bumblebee and Edge of 17 was really good. So
that was great, yeah. Which is why I'm looking forward to that show. Her doing the coming of age dark comedy. I think she's very good at.
Yeah, so Stephen King adaptations are all the rage right now because it's making tons of money.
Again.
And we have some casting for The Stand. First up, we have Alexander Skarsgård. He's going to play Randall Flagg, known as the Dark Man. So obviously this is also a character that pops up in Dark Tower and whatnot. So you got
funnily enough, from what I know, there is actually a connection between that character and it.
And it as well.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Stephen King put a lot of shared universe.
Yeah, just interesting given the casting, both Skarsgårds.
True, yeah. And then some other casting here, so that had its own article, but then we had another one that had Whoopi Goldberg, obviously who's a known name. We have Jovan Adipo from When They See Us, Owen Teague from Mrs. Fletcher, Brad William Henke from Orange is the New Black, Daniel Sunjata from Rescue Me, and they've all been cast in The Stand as well, which is CBS All Access to a limited series based on the book. Obviously, it had a mini-series back in the 90s, but I mean, I actually watched the trailer for that not too long ago, and it looked cheap as absolute shit.
Oh, really?
So I feel like the point of this is to do something with a bit more, class and gravitas behind it. Will it be any good? Of course, that is a completely different, question. But yeah, so a bunch of casting for that, which is cool. That will take us on to remember Tokyo Vice is one of HBO Max's original series that's in the works.
The name definitely rings a bell.
Yeah, well,
more so than some other names is what I mean.
Yes, well, Ken Watanabe has been cast. He's going to be the lead opposite to Ansel Elgort, who's the other lead in it.
I'm interested.
Of course you are. It is a non-fiction first-hand account of Tokyo Metropolitan Police Beat. The 10-episode Tokyo Vice centers on Jake Adelstein, played by Elgort, an American journalist who embeds himself in the Tokyo Vice police squad to reveal corruption. It chronicles Jake's daily descent into the neon-soaked underbelly of Tokyo, where nothing and no one is truly what it seems.
That could be pretty good, with some nice HBO production value.
Huh?
I can see that being interesting enough, and a couple of good actors there, so yeah.
So we're about to move on to the new shows, but before we do that, I will just tell you about patreon.com/MailFuzzTV. You can support this show and everything we do here, all the other reviews we do, all the movie podcasts, everything that we do, for as little as $1 per month. If you go to patreon.com/MailedFuzzTV, you can support us over there. You get some bonuses, you get some bonus episodes and some things. Very soon you'll get an audio-only exclusive already cancelled. That'll start end of October, start of November. That's going to be starting up. So you can go...
Winner.
Sorry? Right when Apple.
Rival Apple, yeah. November 1st.
So you can go check out Patreon and see if you want to support everything we do and get some bonuses for your troubles. So, so start off with the comedy as per usual. Becky Newton and Michael Urie have both been cast. Wait, what? This is a weirdly written article. I don't.
I mean, I assumed you'd read it enough to understand the point.
Well, no, they've done this weird thing to start with. They're describing who they were years ago when they became known. Like, piss off, deadline. Just go straight to the point, please. Yeah. Anyway, the Glade stars brother and sister in a multi-camera funeral home comedy from Two Broke Girls co-creator Michael Patrick King, former Ugly Bear executive producers Tracy Post and John Kennelly for Warner Bros. TV. So it's called Fun.
Funerals. I don't know. I can't think of what the other two stand for.
It may not be accurate. It may just be shortened. It may just be funeral to fun.
Is it fun with a dot after it?
No.
Okay. then they need to do better.
But it's not all capitalized. I can tell you that for a start.
Mm.
Oh wait, it is later in the paragraph actually. See, this is not my fault. This is
Deadline doing some shoddy work.
Yeah. So, Fun is a lifelong love story between a brother and sister. Kinky, played by Yuri and Newton, who are always encourage each other to have fun, no matter what hardship in life is currently serving up. Fun, all capitalized, celebrates life, in spite of the fact that the family business is a funeral home. As they say in their family, you can't spell the fun. So you can't spell the funeral without the FUN. So it's just shortened.
Sure.
You can't spell funeral without fun. That's the joke.
That's terrible. I never want to see this in my life.
You can't spell America without Erica. The brother returns to his Pennsylvania hometown to help his sister run the struggling business after his emotional and devastating breakup with show business.
I was about to say that was personal and professional, but
not quite.
It's professional and professional.
Indeed, yes. Next up, so Bobby Moynihan is coming back to NBC to star in a lead role opposite Ted Danson on a new single camera comedy series. I guess he's getting free because Good Place is wrapping up its final season soon.
Yep.
But yeah, so it's coming from 30 Rock and Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt duo of Tina Fey and Robert Carlock. So we got some names behind there. The comedy, which is a straight-to-order series, is about a wealthy businessman, played by Danson, who runs for mayor of Los Angeles for all the wrong reasons. Once he wins, he has to figure out what he stands for, gain the respect of his staff, and connect with his teenage daughter, all while controlling the coyote population.
That was definitely personal and professional, but what the hell?
That was definitely...
I was like, why are you pausing?
Because
yeah. Oh.
I had to really double check what I was about to say. Yes, cars drinking, because that was a list that very much did the personal and professional life. Yeah, I mean, they've got some interesting people behind there. I don't love those shows like a lot of people do, though. Like, I've seen a few seasons of 30 Rock. I've seen 2 seasons of Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. I think they're both very fine background noise. I don't really love either one of them, though.
I do. I like both a lot. So.
Well, fine. You could be excited about this then.
I am. I will check this out. Eventually. Probably when there's like 4 seasons, and I'll just binge it all then.
That Ghost writer book show was live action originally, and seems there's no mention of it becoming animated. So
okay, fair enough.
Yeah. So yeah, it's one of those 90s shows. There's like a picture of all the kids here, and it looks like Are You Afraid of the Dark or something like that.
That's fair. I don't know where I got animated into my head. I just thought I read that earlier in the week. But
speaking of, I didn't watch all of it, but there was a trailer this week. They're doing like a limited series, Are You Afraid of the Dark reboot.
yeah. We've spoken about that on here before.
I forgot about it. And it was it was weird. I was like, oh, this is odd. Because I thought they were doing a movie. Maybe they still are, but
yeah, why not both?
Sure.
It's ripe for exploitation as a property. Maybe.
All right. Netflix are doing a Polish original. They're adapting a mystery thriller by Harlan Coben. It's called The Woods, and this isn't their first Polish original, is it?
No, I think we tried one, didn't we?
Oh, we did.
It was I think
1983.
Was it a year. That's
1983,
it.
Yeah. So they've commissioned this. This is a 6-episode series. It's based on a book. I assume it's a limited show. It's come out in 2020. It is the latest international adaptation of a Coben book for Netflix. The digital platform is remaking El Innocent in Spain, with Aurel Paulo and The Stranger and Safe in the UK. So they've actually got a few adaptations by this author. in the works in various countries. So this is coming next year. So here's the description. Set in 2 time spans, 1994 and 2019, The Woods tells the story of a Warsaw prosecutor, Paweł Kopinski, who is still grieving the loss of his sister from 25 years ago. The night she walked into the woods at a summer camp and was never seen again. But now, the discovery of a homicide victim, a boy who vanished along with Paweł's sister, reveals evidence that links him to her disappearance. As hope rises that his sister could still be alive, dangerous secrets from the family's past threaten to tear apart everything that Paweł's been trying to hold together. There's a little bit of that almost sounded like dark. There was a little bit of dark in there. The 2 years, the body that was gone, all that time ago. There was a little bit of dark in there. Not that this is a sci-fi show or anything like that, but...
No, I mean, could be okay. It's hard to say without having seen anything indicative of the quality, but...
If that first line didn't specifically say it was set in 2 time spans, I would have assumed that it was mostly just 2019 with maybe the odd flashback. But that makes it sound like it's going to be equally 1994.
Yeah, or at least there's a significant chunk in 90s, if not equal.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, could be alright though.
HBO Max has given a straight-to-series order to Americana, a long-time passion project from Lupita Nyong'o. So she is going to... Right. It's a limited series. She's going to be in it. She's going to star in it herself. It is based on... And I'm going to have to really slow down for this name. Chimamanda. There's an extra M in there. There's an extra syllable that I'm having a hard time fitting in. Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. That person's best-selling novel. I'm saying that person because I have no idea, based on that name, what the gender of the author is. So Nyong'o's co-star Danai Gurira wrote the pilot and will serve as showrunner on the 10-episode limited series, which comes from Plan B Entertainment.
Okay.
So, yes. Americana tells the epic story of Ifemelu, and apologies if I'm pronouncing some of these words wrong, a young, beautiful, self-assured woman raised in Nigeria who, as a teenager, falls in love with her classmate, Obinze. Living in the military-ruled country, they each depart for the West, with Ifemelu heading for America, where, despite her academic success, she is forced to grapple for the first time with what it means to be black. Quiet, thoughtful Obinze, again, I'm probably butchering the name.
If it makes you feel any better, I'm pretty sure you got the Polish name wrong in the last one.
Oh, great. Had hoped to join her. But with a post-9/11 America close to him, he instead plunges into a dangerous, undocumented life in London. So, yeah, the book has apparently got a lot of buzz about as being an incredible exploration of the human experience that crosses 3 continents, and gives empathetic, compelling views of the complex realities of race, politics, immigration, and identity. So, very serious drama here from the sounds of it, and
HBO Max having some diverse content, which is good for it long term.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's good. Yeah, it's a possibility to sort of be super excited for this for me. It's a bit dry for me, but
yeah,
it's the sort of thing where once I see what it looks like, if the writing quality is very high, that it might immediately be like, well, it doesn't really matter that it felt dry at first place because the writing makes it not dry. So
yeah, definitely.
So we'll see. And Nyong'o's a good actress as well.
Oh, she is definitely.
So that's good. Next up, David E. Kelly and Jack Bender. Oh, remember, speaking of Stephen King, speaking of Stephen King, so Spyglass Media Group are working on a Stephen King's latest novel, The Institute, which just came out because Tim just told me he got it. Tim just said that he got this book.
So it must be brand new.
Because it was new. And they're developing a limited series with David E. Kelly, who worked on Big Little Lies, along with Jack Bender, who was the director of the Lost pilot, as well as most of the Lost big episodes, and he's done a lot of big TV episodes across the years.
Sure.
They worked on Mr. Mercedes together to put them as a pair together.
Right.
But it's basically a novel. So, where is my description? Thank you.
See, this is where it'd be useful to have Tim just pop up and just tell us what it's about.
Right, I'll go to Waterstones. What does Waterstones say? What's their description?
That's safe, yeah.
Yeah. They've actually got a really long synopsis, but they've got like a part that's just highlighted. I'll just read that part.
Yeah, let's do that.
The Master Craftsman spins in an eerie tale of state-sponsored research units and kids with supernatural abilities. Themes of revenge and betrayed childhood innocence hover ominously over a complex narrative about incarcerated youths with uncanny powers, as King proves his awesome storytelling mettle once again. A little bit of an opinion in there. This is Waterstone's own blurb,
Sure, yeah.
But yes.
Sounds like Stephen King saw Stranger Things and went, I can do that.
Which is funny because a lot of Stranger Things is like, hey, we like Stephen King, we can do some of that.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it sounds okay.
There's potential in that.
10-part limited series.
Yeah, I could potentially enjoy that.
Yeah, great. There you go. Next up, Hulu is it's not quite final yet, but they're close to a straight to series order for The Mysterious Benedict Society, an adventure drama based on the best-selling adult novel by Trenton Lee Stewart. Comes from Sonar Entertainment, written by writing duo Matt Manfredi and Phil Hay, who worked on the Ride Along movie franchise. There was like 2 of them, right?
I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me if there's secretly like 8 and I just didn't notice.
Nah, the first one wasn't that old. They could made 8 of them. I think realistically, because there maybe 4 by now.
I don't know how many there is. Oh, there is only 2. First one was 2014.
Yeah, they've not made 8 movies in 5 years.
No, I think there is only 2 actually.
Yeah, suck it then.
That's barely a franchise.
Well, that was the point I was making.
Yeah, I know. I'm agreeing with you. I just give them the benefit of the doubt and assumed that they just pumped some out that I didn't know about.
The Mysterious Benedict Society tells the tale of 4 gifted orphans who are recruited by an eccentric benefactor to go on secret missions. Placed undercover at a boarding school known as the Institute, The Institute?
I was going to say, yeah.
I'm getting confused with the last story. That's the Stephen King one. They must foil a nefarious plot with global ramifications while creating a new sort of family along the way. Okay.
Was that personal and professional? Foil a global plot.
Kind of.
New family.
I don't know. It depends if forced child labour counts as professional.
It's a fair point.
I would debate that it might not.
Yeah.
But
okay.
Yeah. So honestly, that sounds not bad actually. The idea that they're kind of working together. Gifted in what way? Because if it was going to be superpowered, then it was going to sound a lot of that Stephen King one we just read about.
I'm thinking, did you get this from Deadline? Because if so, they may have just put the description in the wrong article.
No, so it sounds a little Umbrella Academy-esque. Someone bringing in these gifted youngsters. Superpowered or not. I mean, I'm getting the impression it's probably more like one's just really good at math, like he's like got a brain for math, and then one's like really good at running or something. I don't know. Like natural skills, but that are extremely good.
Sure.
Gifted is the term.
They're gonna have to do a job to convince me why they need kids that can run faster than adults.
The building they have to infiltrate is really small and has lots of small doorways.
Good enough for me.
That's all I got for you. Alright, next up. John Lithgow is going to star opposite Jeff Bridges in FX's drama pilot, The Old Man. From Black Sail's co-creators John Steinberg and Robert Levine. So, yeah, and also they got John Watts to direct the pilot as well. He did the last 2 Spider-Man movies. So, and Cop Car and a couple other things.
I want to know which of them is the old man.
I mean, they're both.
Yeah, exactly.
Old.
That's my point. But it's the old man, not the old men.
I'm going to say Bridges because he comes across as older and grumpier than Lithgow does. Lithgow's still quite useful the way he moves around.
That's fair.
Lithgow still has this weird, demented energy to him.
It's just in his smile. I think he looks, his age. He's not a spry young fella.
Yeah, he looks like he's in his late 60s. Don't get me wrong, he's not.
Yeah, but I think he has a very youthful smile.
Yes.
Whereas I would not say Jeff Bridges has that.
That's for the video people. For the audio people, I just did the Third Rock from the Sun salute. Connor, who's probably never seen that show, was just wondering what the hell I was doing.
I've seen like 3 episodes a long time ago.
So The Old Man, which is based on the eponymous novel written by Thomas Perry, centers on Dan Chase, played by Bridges, who is absconded from the CIA decades ago and has been living off the grid since. When an assassin arrives and tries to take Chase out, the old operative learns that to ensure his future, he must now reconcile his past. Actually, do you know what? This should have been the news section because I remember actually vaguely talking about this when they first announced it. I just thought it was new because I was like, "What's this? What's this thing with Lithgow and Bridges? This is new."
Apparently not.
Apparently it's not as new. But anyway, Lithgow will play Harold Harper, intelligent and tough with deep reservoirs of compassion and ruthlessness. Oh yeah. Do you know what? Lithgow can do a great villain when he's given the chance.
He can, yeah.
Harper is called back to service by the FBI after suffering a terrible personal loss. He has a complicated past with rogue fugitive Chase, although this has got a typo and says Chaz. I'll just make sure that I'm not cutting that off myself. No, it says Chaz. It says Chaz. Yes, he's got a rough past with Chaz, which makes him uniquely suited for hunting him down. I'm getting the fugitive vibes from this TV show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's got potential, though. Got two great actors.
Yeah,
there.
2 great cast members. I can't fault those.
Yeah.
Can't fault those. All right. Next up. Taffy Brodesser Ankner's hot summer New York Times bestseller, Fleischman is in trouble. That's Fleish, man. Fleischman.
Sure.
Right. Fleischman is in trouble. It's been scooped up by ABC Central Studios to do after a 10-way bidding war with places such as HBO and a bunch of others. But it's been set up as FX. So this is FX that will be hosting it.
Okay.
As a limited series. The author will actually write the script, and it's being produced by Sarah Timberman, Susanna Grant, and Carl Beverly. Fleischman is in trouble follows the 40-something Toby Fleischman. He thought he knew what to expect when he and his wife of almost 15 years separated, weekends and every other holiday with the kids. Some residual bitterness, the occasional moment of tension, and their co-parenting negotiations. One day, in the middle of summer of his sexual emancipation, she drops off the 2 children at his place and doesn't return. Toby has been working hard to find his equilibrium and his single life. The winds of his optimism, long dormant, have finally begun to pick up, until now. But if Toby ever wants to truly understand what happened to Rachel and what happened to his marriage, he is going to have to consider that he might not have seen all the things clearly in the first place.
I won't lie to you. I think I enjoyed that description more, imagining Toby as, Toby from The Office the entire time.
That's fair. If this has the right tone, I could see it working. Even though it doesn't sound like much on paper, like it sounds like a pretty. But they put just enough of a description into how he thinks, like the way his mind is working, that it almost gives you a tone. I can almost get a tone for the way this is described. Yeah. And I can almost see Larry David being this guy.
Sure, I get that.
I could see a number of comedic actors kind of like doing this kind of semi-drama role.
Yeah, I can see that.
Maybe good. So that is Fleischman is in trouble. Fleischman is in trouble. I'm still sick, guys. I'm struggling to speak.
Anyway, though.
Yeah.
I'll let you off on that one.
So, CW
is it that time of year?
Are making a deal. They're in a deal to develop Dark Shadow's Reincarnation. An hour-long gothic horror drama based on the Dan Curtis created cult classic TV soap opera Dark Shadows.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yes.
This sounds perfect for CW.
It kind of does, especially if it's not a soap opera this time. If they're going to veer it to more of an hour-long kind of like dramedy.
Yeah, but CW already has a lot of soap opera elements in a lot of its shows, so this kind of feels like a reasonably natural extension.
The pilot's going to be written by Mark B. Perry, whose credits include Revenge, Ghost Whisperer, and Brothers and Sisters.
I heard good things about Revenge.
Not so much about Ghost Whisperer.
I mean, I'm familiar with the others, so.
Ghost Whisperer was basically oh god, I forgot her name. Jennifer Love Hewitt. Here's her and her boobs for several seasons. Enjoy. That was the premise of that show. There's also ghosts.
I can see the appeal of that.
I bet you can. Hard to miss the appeal of that. So, the reimagined show will be a modern-day continuation of the strange, terrifying, and sexy saga of the sexy saga. Oh god, CW are going to CW this up so much.
CW is shit already.
Of the Collins family of Collinsport, Maine, a mysterious, influential, publicly shy group hiding in a ghastly secret. For the past 400 years, they've lived under the curse that bedevils their blue blood with every imaginable supernatural creature and horror. The intention here is to harken back to the original, which was so popular that it actually saw Shakespearean actor Jonathan Freed become as popular as the teen magazine as the young heartthrobs at the moment, for his role as vampire Barnabas Collins.
Okay.
So, yeah. Yeah, so this was something that aired like 5 days a week when it was on back in the day.
As a soap traditionally does.
Yeah, I mean, soaps were always 5 days a week. I mean, somewhere.
Well, no, but I mean, it's pretty common.
Yeah, well, it's common now. And I feel like back then it was less common, but yeah, I mean, sure. This one was doing 5 days a week. I mean, the fact that it has 1,200 episodes is a testament to that.
That's a shitload of episodes.
Well, if you look at any soap,
don't worry. CW is never going to cancel it, so it'll get 1,200 again.
But 22 per season.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, see if you look at any soap that's been running like since like the 70s and it's still going today, like the number of episodes is absolutely terrifying.
I'm curious about a couple.
Go look up General Hospital. That's one off the top of my head. General Hospital on IMDb. See how many episodes there is. I don't know if that started in the 70s. I mean, that may have been the 90s, but whatever. Even in the 90s, it's still going to be a ridiculous amount.
Oh, I looked up Coronation Street because that started at the end of 1960, and it's the biggest British soap. First one that came to mind. As of right now, Google is telling me 9,859. That's closed in on 10,000. Probably maybe this year.
Imagine if soap watchers were like us. Imagine if soap watchers were like us and wanted to always watch things from the start. And it's like, well, I better get those streaming rights to Coronation Street so I could start from 1968.
Yeah. What was the one you asked me to check?
General Hospital. I've heard of that one.
As of February 23rd, 2018, 14,000.
Whoa, that's even more.
When did that start?
I don't know if All My Children is still going, but it's notable because it starred Sarah Michelle Gellar, who was, of course, on the hit television show Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
That General Hospital started in 1963, so actually 3 years after Coronation Street.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I've got a feeling that was probably doing the 5 days a week thing pretty much its whole run then, as opposed to Coronation Street, which maybe only had 3 a week for a while or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how many it's got right now. It might only still have 3 or 4 a week for all I know.
I would guess it has 5, but I don't know. I really don't know.
We're the wrong audience.
We really are. Nothing is more tedious to me than watching an episode of a soap.
Not their fault. I don't blame the people involved on them.
If anyone, even Hitchcock, if he had to turn out 5 episodes of something a week consistently,
it would probably be fairly mediocre.
Because they have to rush it. They have to do the quick things that work because that's all they can do in that amount of time.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't begrudge anyone who has to work on a soap.
Yeah, I mean, it basically means they've got like a day to shoot an episode.
Pretty much.
Maybe a little bit more, including if they can look at some of the weekend to like catch up. But I feel like they just shoot an episode in a day and call it. Like that's it. Like we've done the episode. Let's move on with our lives.
Yeah, it's 1, maybe 2 takes tops, right?
Yeah. A lot of pressure on the actors not to mess up the lines in that situation, I guess.
Yeah, and I know a lot of soap actors get shit for being over dramatic, shall we say?
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, credit to them for at least presumably getting most of the lines right quick to get that many out.
Are you a good actor? Well, I'm good at learning lines.
Good enough.
All right, final news story of the week. We have, in a competitive situation, ABC has given a put pilot commitment to Backlash, a drama examining the aftermath of child rescue from Switched at Birth creator Lizzie Weiss, John Friedman, and Jennifer Gvartz. from Random Hill Productions. So this is ABC sort of. So again, we're starting to just gear up at the odd pilot now, the odd little pilot. Not even order, just development. We're just developing pilots.
We're just sneaking into that season now.
Yeah, and this season basically lasts until the end of the year, maybe even just the early next year.
Yeah,
this has been our quiet period. This last couple of months since like the pilots were all like sort of picked up for the seasons. This was the quiet period of TV news, comparatively.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. Maybe barring like Christmas week or whatever, for obvious reasons. But anyway, Backlash is set in a working class town after a high profile rescue of a child. As the rescue workers and family are deluged with praise, the suspicions begin to mount that the accident was something quite different than it seemed. Unpeeling the truth of what happened that day will uncover the town's many secrets, and in the process, explore hero worship, the media, celebrity culture, and the lens we go to in order to be seen.
Sounds like a network show.
It's actually not a million miles away from Emergence, actually, which is only just starting this month, and we'll be getting to that soon. In fact, is that next week?
Which one, sorry? You cut out for me a second.
The pilot's next week. We may have some pilots next week. I think we're getting to that.
Today?
We're getting there. If not, it's definitely the week after.
Week after, I think.
Week after, all right.
Yeah, not this coming week, but the week commencing the 23rd.
Yeah, by the time you guys see this, it'll be Monday. So yeah, next week.
So next.
I'm right. Next week.
I mean, technically yes, but not what you actually meant.
Shut up. They don't need to know that. So that was the last story of the week. So this brings an end to our news show. So I will tell you what's coming up, what's been up this past week. What
Stuff happened.
Yeah, the Deuce came back. So episode 1 of season 3 is up.
It's pretty good.
You can go see that, of course. We tried many Netflix shows this week. Well, I tried many. Connor tried one.
I was busy on one of the days.
Yeah. The Island launched on Thursday and was terrible. You can go see me ranting about that.
I'm so glad I skipped that one.
Then on Friday, there was a French horror show from Netflix called Marianne, which I also tried and was a bit better, but nothing that kept me wanting to watch. You can go check out my thoughts on that, and you can check out both of our thoughts on the first episode of Unbelievable, which is the limited series starring Toni Collette from Netflix that just launched on Friday. So in fact, the episode 2 review is already up as well, so you can go check out that. So that was the TV stuff that went up this week. Obviously, it was a Star Trek as usual. Apologies, there was no Firefly. Just some schedule kerfuffles.
In the week,
and I was ill, yeah. So we got less done in the first half of the week because I was really Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I was really rough.
Yeah. Very little happened on those days.
Yeah. I'm still a little bit sick, but nothing too bad now. So yeah, coming up this week though, what do we actually have on offer? We have one new show.
Another Netflix show.
Yeah, we've got
surprise.
A Netflix show to try on Friday called Criminal, which is an anthology show where 4 episodes each were shot in different countries. There's 4 from the UK, 4 from Spain, 4 from France, and I'll say Italy. I'm just guessing. I
felt like it was somewhere like Denmark.
It may be, yeah, that sounds right, yeah. But 4 different things, so they're in 4 different languages, and it's an anthology where each episode is entirely in an interrogation room. So it could be kind of fun if it's well written. So we're going to try that on Friday and get a review up as quickly as we can sometime on Friday night. So you can look forward to that. So yeah, that's basically it in terms of the TV updates. Of course, though, it is worth mentioning because we're getting to the busy season that the week after and next week we're going to be having Emergence and Stumptown on the Wednesday and Thursdays. Well, the airs Tuesday, Wednesday, but we typically review the next day. So Wednesday, Thursday for our reviews.
For the content, yeah.
So you can check that. Plus Netflix have The Politician from Ryan Murphy. So we're going to be looking at that on the Friday next week.
Yeah. And then Netflix are giving us no time off.
They really aren't. And then coming to October, we have the return of Mr. Robot. We have the pilot of Batwoman. We have the pilot of Nancy Drew on the CW. And
Johnson, as you've started there, you've missed over the final week of September going into the first week of October, which has another Netflix show.
Quite right. That Friday has Risen Dion, yes. October, right now, we have no Netflix shows planned, but that's just because they have not told us what they are yet.
And I think it's worth noting that the first Friday in October, after Raising Dion, so it might actually be the second Friday, but first Friday in that week, has the Breaking Bad movie.
That is correct. So there might not be a big TV show that week. That might be their big thing for that week.
Which we will be covering under the almost cancelled banner.
Yes. So in the back half of the month, we'll find out soon, I'm sure, if they've got anything we'll be covering. But and obviously Watchmen is launching next month as well. That'll be a Peter Tara review. That's coming on the 20th of October, so you can look forward to that. And the review, I think, will be late that night that it airs, so you can look forward to that there. So yeah, lots of stuff coming up TV wise over the next month, and we'll be trying a bunch of stuff and seeing what sticks. So yeah, and still not entirely decided what to do, because I still plan on watching most of the CWDC shows. Don't know what the plan is yet.
You've got about a month or so from now to decide.
Yes. Inputs always welcome if people have suggestions. But regardless, that is us. So you can, of course, let us know what you think of the news that we talked about in the comments below. You can like and subscribe. We mentioned Patreon earlier, but go and have a look at Patreon and see if you want to support us over there. You can, of course, follow us on Twitter at mailed_fuzz for channel updates. You can rate the audio podcast on your podcast app, Apple Podcasts being the most common. Give us a nice 5-star review if you want more people to find us and get into the show. And otherwise, that is us. So thank you once again for watching or listening. We always appreciate it. Keep watching TV, guys. Have you got any vanilla?